What's good, man? This Motor Chart guy here. Just wanted to drop a little video on you guys, man. It's a little video about support and resistance. I think it's like the foundation of being a successful trader. So before we get started, please make sure that you like and subscribe. And yes, this is the boring stuff, but it's nothing boring about making money. Let's get it. All right, you guys. So first things first, man. Before you can be a successful trader, next to learning your candlesticks, I do think that support and resistance is the next thing that you should learn. Because even if you are using trading indicators, how do you know how to get out of a trade? How do you know when to get in a trade? And I think understanding support and resistance can help you with that. So even if you do just trade using um, like MACD or EMAs, understanding support and resistance can definitely help you in that. So I'm gonna share my chart with you guys. Now, first things first, when you get on your charts, and right now I'm looking at Tesla and I'm on the hour. First things first is you kind of want to back the screen out maybe a couple of times, scroll out on it. Now, support and resistance is from price action. So price action is the opening and closing of candles. So when candles are opening and closing, you got candles going up, bullish candles going up, you got bearish candles going down. Now, when a bullish candle meets rejection, that is what you call resistance, right? So when you have candles going up here and all of a sudden it stops and it goes the other way, that candle meant rejection. That is resistance. So it's just like taking a basketball. If you throw it off the roof and it comes back to you, that basketball meant resistance, right? Now, support, that is when you have bearish movement. So when you have a bearish move going down and it meets rejection, that's when you have support. So if you have your candles going downward and all of a sudden it stops and then goes the other way, that candle has met some form of support on your charts. So that's why I think that knowing support and resistance is one of the most important things to know before getting into anything else, because how do you know how to get in and out of a trade without knowing that? You're pretty much kind of gambling with your money, right? So like I said, the first thing I do is I kind of scroll out and I want to mark the obvious areas of rejection, for resistance being for a bullish move and support being for a bearish move, right? So get my little handy dandy tool here, horizontal line. And you want to get it on the body of the candles and you want to get as many touches as possible, right? So I will mark it here, boom. And then if I had a little bit of support, I'm gonna come down and mark my support right here, right? So if I zoom in, guess what you have? You have a candle meeting rejection. You have a candle meeting rejection right here. You have candles meeting rejection. Some candles met a little support before it finally broke through, right? So let's zoom back out. Let's do another one. Got a little resistance there. Got a little support there. So if I zoom in, guess what happened? On those candles breaking on that bearish move, they met resistance, right? Excuse me, it met support. Excuse me, it met support. Now, same thing here. Candles going up, they met a little resistance here before it broke through. Now, to gauge how to enter your trade, you want to know where your resistance and support is to enter a trade. So let's take this off right here, right? So we're going to mark it back up. Resistance, support. Now, if I come here and I look at this trade here, and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, where do I enter in my trade? I see that these candles met rejection here. So now that I see these candles meeting rejection, meeting support, meeting resistance, meeting support, support, retesting support, at some point the candles will break through. And at this point, this is when it did. Now there's two strategies you can go about entering your trade. The first strategy is a breakout candle a breakout candle strategy. So as soon as the candle breaks support here, like it did on this level, boom, you're into the trade, right? Into the trade, and you take it all the way down until it meets another level of support, right? And you mark that level of support, and then at that point, you're like, okay, boom, I can get out of this trade once it hits here. It broke down, it met a little rejection on this support level. It probably behooved me to take a little bit of my money right here because we don't know what it's going to do. Now, that's the first way. Soon as it breaks support, you enter the trade. Now, the second way is a break and retest trader. So this candle here broke. This candle here broke support. And when it broke support, guess what? It went back up. Now, if you was a breakout candle tester, you're in this trade already, and you're taking some pullback. And the con to being a breakout strategy a breakout strategy, a candle breakout strategy is that you can get hit with the fake out. And sometimes on certain days, the fake out is at a higher probability. So breaking retest trader, okay, this candle breaks. All right, it goes back up over support. Now this candle here breaks, and once it breaks the low of this, at that point you enter the trade. So once it breaks the low of the previous candle, you enter the trade because now you've allowed a break. This candle opens up, you've allowed it to retest this level of support, and now it has continued down. And that's how you would enter a trade on a bearish movement, right? Now, the con to this is sometimes you might miss a move. Now, and I'm gonna give you an example. Right here, you had these candles retested support, and then you had a candle here break, but the next candle didn't come down and retest. So as a breakout candle strategy, you enter the trade right here, you're able to catch this move all the way to 1116. As a break and retest trader, you miss this move because you wait the next hour and you allow the next candle to open up before you enter in. So now you've entered in here and you've only taken a move up to here, right? So that's the difference between being a breakout candle strategy using support and resistance, or a break and retest strategy using support and resistance. All right, so let's go to another chart. Let's go to TSM. Now, TSM, let's jump to the weekly. Let's go to the weekly here on TSM. One thing about trading is you have to know, the trend. So knowing the trend, whether it's in a upward trend, consolidation, which is candles just printing to the right, or a downward trend, right? So we look here and I scroll out some so I can mark my support and resistance. I noticed that we had consolidation here and we had resistance, or excuse me, support here. So resistance here, support here. And this was a consolidation area because you didn't really get any true breakouts. You had a false breakout, the next candle opened up, retested that support, old resistance, right? Because this was resistance. And then when the candle broke over, it then became support. So the next candle opened up, tested support level was strong. So guess what? Candles fell back under. So that was a false breakout. And you got a lot of rejection at this resistance. So we knew this level of resistance was going to be a strong level. Once again, you had a candle breakout, and then the next candle opened up and retest. And then we found that this level was strong again because then the candles came back up under this support, turning back to resistance. Candles went the other way. And as you can see here, it rejected this support level, rejected this support level, rejected this support level. Now, one of the things that I have learned about marking your resistance and your support, the longer candles stay in this consolidation, the bigger the move when it comes out of consolidation. So we got this rejection here. So now you got a break. Guess what happened? The next candle opened up, tested support, and pushed up. So now, if you're a break and retest trader, so if you're a breakout candle trader, you're in this trade as soon as it broke. A break and retest trader uses this candle here And then when this candle opened up, now you're in the trade because it's broke the previous high. So now at that point, you have a high probability of continuation. And guess what? You got a from 123 all the way to 130, 134 move out of TSM. So that's what you call finding your entry from a consolidation accumulation on the charts. And like I said, the longer the candles are in consolidation, the bigger the move. And you're basically using resistance and support the whole time to plot your move, right? And that's how you want to do it. And so just to give you another example, is the different kind of resistance and support. And that resistance and support is using trend lines. So let's go back to Tesla. Let's go back to Tesla. So if we go to Tesla and you mark your trend lines, you're always going to mark your trend lines from the candle, from the bodies, and you want to get it on the bodies of the candle, right? Always put them on the bodies of the candle because you want as many touches as possible, because this is support and resistance, not supply and demand, right? So now, if you look at it here, guess what happens? You open up in this trade, and this trade comes all the way to the top of this trend line and rejects resistance. Guess what happens? It then pulls back and rejects support. Let's do it again. Show it to you one more time. And you always want to connect the candles to the bodies of the candles, as many touches as you can, because one thing you're going to be looking for on this is if it breaks. So if it breaks out of this resistance, we know that we're going on a bullish move. But if it respects this resistance, we know that we're going to pull back. And one of the ways that you know that it's going to respect this resistance is by knowing your candlesticks, right? So that's one thing you also want to know going into learning resistance and support. That's another video for another day. So matter of fact, I already have a video on that. If you go to the very first video on Unbroken Mindset, it's called Understanding Japanese Candlesticks. So you definitely want to learn that first, then get into support and resistance, right? So like I said, we enter the trade here, boom. We've caught this whole move all the way up to 1197. At this point, we see it respecting resistance. So we start clearing some of my profit off the board because it's throwed us an actionable signal, and we want to see which way that the candles are going to continue to go. So it respects resistance on this trend line and then tends to come down, right? And as it comes down, guess what happens? It respects support. So it pulls back, it respects resistance again, and then it continues to momentum could carry it down. And one thing about your trend lines and you're trading in the downward trend, you know, by using resistance and support, you continue to get lower lows. So you know that that downtrend is gaining momentum. So those lower lows right here, which means that this low is lower than this low, and this low is lower than this low. So you're getting lower lows and it's respecting resistance. So you know that this downtrend is gaining momentum. So guess what? You see it respecting it. Now you can stay in a little bit longer, right? Now, same thing on the uptrend, vice versa. Same exact thing. You get your uptrend, you enter here, and you carry it all the way here. You get your actionable signal, you see it respects that support, and then continues to power up. Now, one of the things that you know when trading resistance and support, and you're trading in a upward trend, because it's continued to give you higher highs. So you got a higher high here, and a higher high here. So that just means that this high is higher than this high, and this high is higher than this high. So when you get consecutive higher highs, you know that your uptrend is gaining steam. The candles are respecting the support and resistance of the trend line, so you are able to stay in a little bit longer. Now, once it hits a level of this resistance, then you know, hey, let me take a little bit of bread just to see what the candles are going to do. And in this instance here, it came out of the support and then it fell back down, right? So that's how you know how to enter and exit a trade. I definitely think that this is one of the things that is like the foundation of being a successful trader. And that's just trading resistance and support. And you can add resistance and support with any trading indicator that you like, because even if you use the indicator to get in the trade, if you're recognizing that candles are meeting resistance and the indicator has told you to enter the trade, and you recognize the indicator tells you to get in the trade down here, and you recognize resistance and you understand your candlesticks, guess what? You're able to get out of this trade with the maximum profit because you recognize rejection, and it allowed you to take your money before consolidating all this time and then continue to go back up. Because sometimes it can meet resistance, consolidate, and like here, it went back up, but it could consolidate and then continue to go back down. So you always want to take your profit off the board whenever you see those candles meeting resistance or support, because at that point it's indecision in the market and you want to take your maximum profit and understand, hey, let me see where it's going to show me another entry. So this is my little video on support and resistance. I try to keep it short and sweet because I know support and resistance gets a little boring. So with that being said, man, you deserve nothing, but you earn everything. And I do, like I said, think this is the foundation of training. So if you have a good foundation of support and resistance, I think that gives you that much more high probability of becoming a more successful trader. So with that being said, man, I'm on the chart guy. I'm out.